Good morning, namaste. Welcome to part 4 of our Ashtanga primary series for beginners for home practice, what we can't class during the confinement. So today we're going to explore the 2 more poses of the standing sequence. So we're talking Trikonasana, which is a triangle pose, and also because I know when we've done it in class, in lead classes, people get confused about what happens, what is that transition in between. So we're going to really look at the transition and how we go from Samastiti, which is our standing pose, into that wide-legged pose, which is the in-between of everything that happens in the wide-legged parts of the standing sequence. And we might have a look at the very beginning of headstand as well in the finishing sequence. So I've asked you to do some sun salutations to warm up, so I don't spend a lot of time in this video doing it. If you're watching this at a later time, not live, then you can always go back to the part 3A of the previous sessions if you need a memory, or basically just tune into this video after having done about 10-15 minutes of sun salutations A and B. Now, just for continuity, I'm going to pick it up from one sun salutation B. So we're going to start at the front of our mat together, take Samastiti, engage the bandhas, and engage the Ujjayi breath. Hopefully at this stage you've come to a little better understanding of that Ujjayi breath. Sometimes practicing at home is easier because you can really, give it a go and you don't have to worry about what anything else think about or if anybody else is snorting around in the room. So really give it a go, like breathing in and out through your nose, because we're warming up, because we're spending energy in the practice. The breath wants to be full, so let it happen, let it fill you with energy. Let's take a deep inhale together. And exhale. Inhale, bend your knees, chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step back into a plank, chaturanga. Inhale into upward dog, shoulders back. Exhale into downward dog, pivoting the left foot, right foot forward. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, back into plank, maybe chaturanga. Skip it if you don't have enough breath. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog, pivoting the right foot, left foot forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Enjoy this downward dog because we don't have more in the practice today. Make a triangle with your body. Spend as little effort as you can. Keep your shoulders nice and plugged in. Your hips traveling up, lengthening the spine and the back of the legs. On an exhale, let's step or jump forward. Inhale, straight back, look forward. Exhale, fold. Bending the knees. Inhale into chair. Exhale to Samastiti. Inhale, open your feet as well as your hips. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, draw that Ujjayi breath and Uddiyana Bandha in. Exhale, fold forward, grab your big toes. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold over your legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, straight spine. Exhale, step on your hands. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, look forward, lengthen. Exhale, hands on your hips, Androdi Uddiyana Bandha. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, back to Samasthiti. Breathe in Samasthiti, I open for the cat. Don't be annoying, cat. Okay, so from now I'm going to break down the standing sequence, or the first few poses of it. What I really like about it is that there's a symmetry. Like, you will notice that it's the same as the sun salutations. The opening movements are the same as the finishing movement. We're just reversing the sequence. And noticing how it feels different. You're doing the same thing, but the other way. How that works in your body. I just think that's part of the, the magic of Ashtanga, the melody or the rhythm of it. So anyway, we're in Samasthiti, we're exhaling here. And what happens is we inhale and we come to that facing forward. So like both my feet are parallel and my arms are open. And this is the first move. And the last move of the standing sequence after each pose is exhale, come back to Samasthiti. So let's do this a few times together. If you have a line on your mat, you can use that, or use the edge of the mat to notice like how straight your feet come. So exhale in Samasthiti. Inhale, legs open. Now, when we're doing triangle pose, the book said, the teacher says, you should have one leg space between your feet. I mean, I've actually gone nerdy and tried and measured. It's like, okay, how long is my leg from the floor to the in-between? And if I set it down, then this is what my legs happen. And then when you're doing the further forward movement, then it's a little further. I would say, don't worry about it too much. Don't go as wide as you can. And you will find eventually how it happens. So focus on like finding that, like, even forget the arms to start. Find that Tadasana, that Samasthiti feeling with your legs wide open. So your feet are still facing forward. Your knees are facing forward. Bend your knees, see if they're stuck. See what happens to your hips as you bend your knees. Drop your tailbone. Lengthen your spine. Relax your shoulders, relax your face. Keep your head right over the center line. And then open your arms. Do whatever you want with your palms. Like, I think traditionally they're facing down, but like if it's easier on your shoulders, just notice what happens. As long as it's a conscious decision, I don't think you can do it wrong. So we're inhaling here. And exhale, like I bend that knee, I pivot over that heel, and I come back to Samasthiti. And I notice my upper body is not really moving all that much. Inhale, come back. Exhale, Samasthiti. Let's do this a few times together. Inhale. Exhale. Find lightness and balance. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale one last time. Now, traditionally, you always do it with your right foot. If, like today, you're facing the left, do it with left foot. I don't really mind. And again, I like doing things with both sides of my body. So sometimes I will do all of my practice starting with the left foot, just to see what's different. So now that we're inhaling into that position, the next one is you can bring your hands to your hips, because that would be quite interesting. Have a look at your feet. So your big toes and your heels are leveled. Your knees are not, pushed so far back that your tailbone is tilting back. You're nice and soft over your feet, like you can move a little bit from side to side. Keep your hands on your hips for now. Keep your shoulders neutral. What happens is we exhale, we're going to pivot the right foot and point it back. And then at the same time, so I'm holding my hips. I'm only pivoting my right foot. I'm moving around my heel. Now, again, that might be a little different. Maybe you want to move around your toe rather than around the heel. See what feels good for you. Take this time now to figure out what's the difference, and then you can always change it. So let's exhale, pivot the foot. As I'm pivoting my foot, I'm holding my hips. I'm not, if I'm doing it from this side, right? So I'm not turning my hips. If you can see, like the front of my hips doesn't really move. It moves even less if I move my heel in from my toes rather than my toes out from my heel. So see how that feels in your body. And let's do it with the other leg. Sometimes it feels very different with the other leg. So hands on your hips. Exhale, turn the foot out. Inhale, come back. Exhale, maybe bring the heel in. Exhale, come back. I've changed to a cotton mat today because sticky mat don't really help all that much. Now, I mean, this doesn't happen all the time. I just want to see what the feeling is. So we inhale to center. Exhale, pivoting the foot. And like, your leg is your thigh bone is going to rotate into the hip socket, like, kind of that kind of movement. But the hip itself isn't moving. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Then the next one is as we're down here, we're going to inhale to center. Exhale, pivot the foot. And as we pivot, we're pushing the hips towards the back leg without tilting, right? So exhale, pivot the foot, push your hips. And inhale, come back, straight feet. Exhale, pivot the foot, push the hips. So you're trying to keep your hips and your upper body facing the long side of your mat. Inhale, come back. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep your lower belly engaged so that you don't feel it in your lower back, especially if you have a tendency of arching and letting your hips come back and your lower spine compress. Do engage here. So inhale to center, exhale, tilting. Inhale to center, exhale, tilting to the other side. And you see, I'm looking at the screen now, but my head turns to the opposite direction. Inhale to center. Let's exhale back to Samastiti and thread it together. So take a breath in Samastiti. Shake your legs if you feel it. Sometimes they might be already a little bit intense. Think that like we're really I'm looking at it through a microscope, but we never have more than a breath in those movements, in those transitions, but we repeat them in between each of the standing pose. So I do quite like the fact that, we're locked at home with nothing else to do. So we're looking at those transitions through a microscope. So exhale in Samastiti. Inhale, come to center, facing forward. Exhale, let's bring the arms with it. So turn my foot, push my hips, and then come a little further down. And I'm going to keep my arms aligned with each other. If it's too much, if there's anything wrong with my shoulders, I can always do it down here. Doesn't matter. So we exhale and we only go as far as we can keep those hips facing forward. We want to feel length, especially on the lower side. And maybe we look all the way up to the top hand. And we breathe here. We're going to stay 5 breaths, but for now, I just want to do the sequence. So the bottom hand might be flat on your leg. You could reach it all the way down to your big toe. Like when you reach all the way down to your big toe, my left hip is facing forward. And I get a different stretch. Again, there's different schools about what you really shouldn't do, what you should do. Sometimes I like this one. Sometimes I like this one. Pick, make a conscious decision of what you want to feel in your body. Wherever you are, as you inhale, you press into the right foot, you soften the knee, and you come all the way back, straight feet. Exhale. Off we go, and it becomes automatic. See, that's what I mean about the dance. So the hand, we try and get that idea of, okay, the upper body is falling with gravity, taking us down. This hand is pushing us up. We're trying to draw the leg up. And this hand up here is drawing us all the way as well, and using that to open the shoulder. So as we exhale, we soften, we try and find a little more length. And as we inhale, soften the knee, come all the way back. Exhale, back to center. Sorry, exhale, we will come back to center. Inhale here, and exhale to Samasthiti. Okay, let's do the 5 breaths without me talking all that much. Take a deep breath in, Samasthiti, and a breath out. Inhale to center. Exhale, pivot the right foot, come to your right side. 1, 2, deep breath. 3, 4, find length in your body, in your spine, in your arms, in your chest. 5, exhale. Inhale, come back, turn your feet, face the center. Exhale, pivot the other foot, swing the hips, come all the way down, look up to the right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, relax. Let me talk about the next one a little more. So the next one is the reverse triangle. The reverse triangle, we can bring our hands to our hips, and we've inhaled here, but I'm going to do it with the arms first. As we exhale, we pivot, but this time I turn my hip. So I'm going to shuffle my feet. I want my feet to stay, like if I'm doing it from this side, right? I'm in the center here. Exhale, pivot, shuffle my feet so that I've got my feet underneath my hips. Like when you get really flexible, you can keep them aligned. I don't think that's all that good for you. Again, find what works. So inhale to center, exhale, turn all the way to the back. And when I'm here, I'm facing my hips to small side of my mat. Again, I'm going to drop my tailbone, engage my pelvic floor, engage my Ujjayi Bandha, lengthen my chest. And then I'm going to exhale. Well, I guess on the exhale here, actually, hold your hips and exhale, fold, keeping your legs and your hips steady, and just folding over the front leg for now. Inhale, come all the way back to the center position. Exhale, hands on your hips, turn all the way. Inhale, lengthen here, engage the bandhas. Exhale. Now listen what happens. So your hips stay steady, and when we go into the full pose, the lower part of the body stays the same. Inhale, all the way back. Once more. Exhale, shuffle, face the hips. Inhale, lengthen here. Exhale, fold, like only go kind of straight back, like chest parallel to the floor. Inhale, come all the way back, pivot. Exhale, onto the left side. Inhale, checking the length, so upper body is still in Samasthiti. Exhale, coming forward without the hips moving, the legs moving. Inhale, come back. Exhale, come to center. All right, let me introduce the arms. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. I'm going to bring actually my hands back to my hips. Face my hips to the front so I can really feel my hips are facing to the front. And then inhale, I'm going to reach the left hand up. So the right leg is in front, the left hand comes up. Keep my spine nice and long. Exhale, exact same movement is happening in the hips. And then I'm going to twist my chest to the side. So whenever we're doing a twist, and we do a lot of them at the end of the classes in relaxation, what's twisting is the spine into the lumbar and thoracic region. So your hips stay in that direction and you're turning your chest to the side. So you're going to bring, and I like keeping my hand on the small of my back, so I keep my hips facing down. And then the left hand is going to go wherever works for you. It could be on the thigh, it could be on the shin, it could be on the foot. Eventually, it might be outside the foot. And then as we inhale, we can straighten the right leg up, the right arm up, but see what works good. If you're trying to get a line between your body, your shoulder, your elbow, and your wrist. If it ends up being something really uncomfortable with a lot of tension, then move it down until it works better for you. So we've got inhale here, exhale, wherever we go. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, pivot. Inhale, right hand up. Exhale, come forward, bending at the hips like we did. And right hand wherever it goes. Left hand, I don't mind. First, open your chest. I'm going to do it this side. So first, I'm going to keep my hand on my back and I'm going to lift and open my chest out to the side. That's what matters. And then I want my arm to be in line with my chest. Sometimes it's nice to bend the elbows and see if I can get my chest, my shoulder, and my elbow lined up. And then when this feels, steady and light, all I've got to do is extend the arm. But a lot of the time, the chest doesn't turn and the arm is all the way up there. The shoulder cranks up into the neck is twisted. This isn't good for you. So you could just be still here, or you could be here, and try that movement and see how that works. And let's inhale. Come all the way up to center. Exhale to Samasthiti. Right. Let's bring all of these the way they're sequenced in the series. So no extra breath and no extra talk. Take a deep breath in Samasthiti and exhale. Inhale, open your feet. Exhale, bring the right foot in, triangle on the right. 1, 2, open the angles in your body. 4, relax the shoulders away from the ears. 5, inhale, come up, straight feet. Exhale, pivot, move the hips, come down onto the left side. 1, 2, 3, equal weight between both feet. 4, 5, inhale, come up to center. Exhale, turn everything, hips, shuffle the feet. Inhale, left hand up. Exhale, left hand down. Right hand wherever you like, lengthen the spine, twist the chest. 1, 2. Don't put too much weight onto the front knee. Keep it slightly bent if you need to. 3, 4, 5. Inhale, come all the way back. This is our standing middle pose. Exhale, shuffle all the way to the front of your mat. Inhale, right hand up. Exhale, fold at the hips. Right hand down, left hand, wherever it goes, left shoulder up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, Samastiti. Nice one, well done. Let's move on to our finishing sequence. So we're going to do a vinyasa. So from Samastiti, let's inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, straight back. Exhale into a plank, maybe chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog, chest forward. Exhale, downward dog. And then jump. Move your legs, come to sitting. Let's come into bridge pose. So I'm going to just grab my sticky mat again. I do like having both options. So we're going to do 3 options of bridge pose. So starting feet behind the hips. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, drop the lower back down onto the floor. Inhale, reach the hips up. 1, thigh parallels. 2, the weight is in the shoulders, not in the neck and the head. 3, 4, 5. On the exhale, come down. Take 1 breath in the center or more. And take the second option. If you want to work on the full wheel pose and maybe just working on the opening of the arms, you can bring your fingertips underneath the shoulders with the thumbs towards your ears. And you're not really going to push into the hands yet. This takes quite a while to develop, but get the idea. So inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, drop your lower back down, tilt your pelvis, tailbone up. Inhale, lift. And press into the hands without trying to lift yet. Full breath. If you can't breathe, then back off. 3. Keep lifting your hips up. 4. And 5. Slowly release. Take whatever option you want for the next one. 1 breath on the ground. Exhale, tailbone up, spine down. Inhale, lift. Four. And 5. Slowly release. Let yourself rest on the floor. Maybe extend the legs for this one. Let's inhale, put your hands over your head. Exhale, drop your lower back towards the floor, tuck your chin in, bring your arms all the way forward and see if we can roll up to sitting. Coming into our Dandasana. Straight leg, straight spine. If we can't have both, then we choose the straight spine. Inhale here. Exhale, fold forward. Grab whichever hold you like most. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, fold over the legs. We're going to stay 10 deep breath here. Notice your balance. See if you can lengthen with every exhale or inhale, and release with the exhale. Activate your Jaladhara Bandha, your neck bandha, and notice whether your head is like really leaning down with your chin forward. See if you can bring it back a little bit, lengthening the back of the neck. If your legs are straight, maybe activate the legs to draw the butt, the back of the thighs towards the ground. Relaxing the shoulders. Feeling a very slight internal rotation of the legs and external rotation of the sit bones. So like your front of your thighs was slowly rolling towards each other. And using the breath to relax the inner thighs. On the next inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, come back to Dandasana. Let's move into shoulder stand. So we're going to lie back onto our backs and stay maybe 15 breaths in shoulder stand. So again, shoulders, not neck or head stand. Be mindful. Let's exhale, bring your knees to your chest, maybe a little momentum. Lift the hips up and let your feet come over your head. Get your elbows behind you to support your lower back. With your hands, push into your shoulders, and if it feels good, extend the feet up. Breathe here deeply. So you gotta lift the lower ribs towards the ceiling to let your breath be full. Again, if you can't breathe, come back out of it and try maybe a couple of breaths at a time until you develop into the pose. Try and keep the back of your neck long. Notice what happens in the breath and in the body. And on exhale, you can soften your knees. Maybe bring your head towards your legs towards your head. Bring the hands back onto the floor and see if you can really hold as you're coming back down. So trying to roll your spine down as slowly as you possibly can. And let's bring your legs all the way down to the floor. Inhale with your hands over your head. Exhale, tuck your chin in. And reach. And come back to sitting. And come into hands and knees. So the next pose now, there's a few variations in Sharavangasana, in shoulder stand, that we'll introduce in later classes. I want to introduce the very first variation of headstand. I think it is a challenging pose and it takes a long time to practice. A lot of it is because of being upside down and trying to figure out where is up, where is down, where the head is the other way around. So I'm really going to start in something that doesn't really look like a headstand. It's a dolphin. It's really good to develop the tricep and the feeling of like what happens with not putting too much weight into the head, and how to open the shoulders, how to develop the core, and again, a very strong stretch on the back of the legs. So the way it works, and I'm going to do it, sorry, the cat is kind of in my face today. Just go to sleep. So I'm going to do it this way just so that you can see. Can you see here? No. Okay, I'll do it here. So I'm coming to kneeling. I'm going to grab my elbows and see, can you see? If I'm bringing my elbows, my hands around my elbows, my arms are parallel. You know, they're not making a triangle shape, they're parallel. So, and I'm going to drop them in front of my knees. And then I'm really going to keep that idea of like elbow underneath the shoulder. So not out to the side, really underneath the shoulders. And then I'm keeping that and I'm interlocking my fingers. I'm going to let the little one, so if I'm interlocking my fingers, right, usually you do it like this. Now I'm going to keep the bottom baby finger inside because otherwise it's going to get crushed and that's quite uncomfortable. So this is where my bottom baby finger is. So I'm down here with my elbows as wide as my shoulders, not wider. And I'm going to do it from this direction, otherwise I don't have space. But so down here, I'm going to tuck my toes under and push my hips up like a downward dog. And we're just going to breathe here. Now, I want to push all of my forearms into the ground. My head is like well over the ground. I can touch my scalp with my thumbs if I reach, but like it's way over the ground. And then I'm just going to play with the balance. So maybe moving the angle of the feet, bringing my head towards my hands. I want to look at a point. I find this really important for my balance, to look at a point on my mat just over my forehead. And notice when you're breathing here whether your elbows are coming out. And if they are, shuffle them back in. Very strong Uddiyana Bandha. This is, interestingly, a very strong core exercise. And so I can walk my feet in a little closer, trying to really extend my back, or walk them back if it's too hard. Again, lengthening my spine. Relaxing the sides of my neck. I'm breathing deeply. And when I can't breathe, I'm just going to drop my knees and let my forehead rest on the floor. I can bring my arms around with my palms facing up. And just take a few breaths here. Like being upside down in that way with all the pressure we bring into the shoulders, especially at the start, it's got a tendency to bring a lot of blood flow into the head. Some people react better to it than others. If you've got really high blood pressure, sorry, this is a pose that you might want to skip. And for myself, like I get quite a lot of migraines, and I know I need that child pose time after my inversion time, just to let stuff regulate. So otherwise, it's just too much pressure in my head. Again, like take it easy, listen to your body. When something feels too easy, add on something more challenging, but don't go straight to the hardest where you're going to hurt yourself. Okay, I just remembered we forgot Matsiasana after shoulder stand. We'll skip it for now. I'll bring it back in the next classes. We're just going to come to sitting. And one of the next sitting posture is the bound lotus pose. So I don't think we're ready for lotus quite yet. So we're just going to do it cross-legged. Again, trying to find a nice long spine. And we're going to do it 5 breaths in each direction. So I'm crossing my right leg in front of my left leg, and then I'm going to cross my arms behind my back. So either I can actually cross them, just because it's quite a nice brain exercise to try and tuck your hands in the way, or if it's like not happening, just hold on to your elbows. Take a deep breath in, and exhale, fold forward, straight spine first, reaching back with the sit bones, and then letting the head relax. Breathing here. 1, 2. Keep your neck long, your shoulders down your back. 3. Every exhale, let your body just fold into gravity. 4. And 5. As I inhale next, I'm going to come all the way up. I'm going to change the cross of my arms, if I can. This is weird. And I'm going to change the cross of my legs. Inhale, lengthening my spine, pushing my forearms into my back, drawing the elbows back and the shoulders really back. And exhaling, folding forward, heart first. Head follows. And still at the end of the breath, letting yourself round. The thighs relax out towards the side. Try and find length as well as bend. After 5 breaths, let's take 1 inhale to lengthen. And exhale, come all the way back. Relax, extend your legs to Dandasana. And then crossing the legs again. Let's try a different cross of the legs. So bringing your feet together in front of you, crossing the ankles. So see which way you've done it naturally, and just out of interest, do it the other way. And then walk your feet towards your knees without bringing them towards your hips. Bring your hands onto your knees. Close your eyes. And breathe deeply. Focusing back on the Ujjayi breath. So widening the back of the throat. And on the end of the exhale, focus on the Mula Bandha, the little contraction of the pelvic floor. At the very end of your exhale, see if you can hold this and expand it to be a notion of feeling all of the parts of your body that are in contact with the ground. As you inhale, feel like you're lifting off the earth. And exhaling, melting, drawing your roots into the soil. Your next exhale, feel the lower abdomen drawing in. Keep it there as you inhale deeply into the four sides of your chest and all the way to the collarbones and the back of the ribs. So gently drawing the lower belly in and out, or in and up. And then noticing both of those locks. Feeling the notion of lightness, of pushing off the ground, and above the navel just taking off towards the sky as you breathe in and the breath makes you light. As you exhale, feel like a landing and strong foundation. And the next breath, feel the inhale come, fill up your chest and your upper body all the way into your throat. As you exhale, drop your chin down. So you feel the lightness of the upper body all the way to the very tip of your throat. And then your head is relaxed. Your head is keeping the energy within your body. It doesn't escape towards the sky. Your spine is nice and long. You feel the ground underneath you and the space over you. And you feel strong and light in between. Keep playing with those bandhas, strongly activating them. Letting the breath, the Ujjayi breath, do it for you. Slowly open your eyes. Now we're going to take the lift. So you can cross your legs closer to your chest. You can just draw your feet to the floor and your knees to your chest, whichever works. Or you can see if your hips are getting ready for it, taking a half lotus pose. So being really mindful, if it's not happening in your hips, it's not going to happen in your knee and you're going to pop knee ligaments. So really not forcing it. Maybe if it happens, like gently lifting the ankle, like I'm not even closing my hands because I don't want to put any pressure. And maybe I'm going to bring my heel towards my hip bone. If it's not happening, it's not happening. It is totally fine. If it is happening, you start with the right foot. If it's not happening, you just cross your legs. I'm going to take an inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bring the knees towards the chest. And maybe just stay here. Or if we feel like we've got a lot of energy, and the reason I start doing the half lotus is because when one leg is stuck, at least I don't have to carry it. And we're going to lift. So again, bandhas are strong, breath is strong. Knees come to your shoulders. And 10 of my breath. So see how long you can do it for. Now again, in the interest of self-practice, I'm going to stop the video here. The next very important pose you're yet to do is Shavasana, where you're just going to lie down and undo the control of your breath, undo the Ujjayi breath, undo the bandhas, undo everything in your body, and let yourself be exactly as you are. Try and stay there for 5 minutes, 25 breaths. If you notice you become impatient, then try and stick another maybe 1 breath, And at the same time, if you're really tired, try to not fall asleep. And let your mind relax. Let your body relax. Focus on your breath. Notice the effects of the practice. Give yourself a full rest of body and mind before you go off and start your day. Namaste.